Hello everyone and good afternoon. My name's Don Arleth and you're watching World News. A pause in the conflict in Ukraine could be close, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said following a phone call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy. The two leaders discussed the ongoing peace efforts, joint defense production, Poland's support for Kyiv, as well as Ukraine's bid for EU membership.
I just finished a long conversation with President Zelenskyy about the situation in Ukraine and the upcoming talks. A couple of days ago, I said that there were certain signals, and I also have an intuition that perhaps a freeze in the conflict, I don't want to say the end, but a freeze in the conflict, is closer rather than further away. Today marks Trump's deadline for Russia to end the war in Ukraine. President Zelenskyy is cautious but optimistic. Ukraine wants Europe, including Poland, to participate in designing this future ceasefire and later peace. We also strongly believe that peace will prevail in our region, as this will also positively impact our security.
Vladimir Putin held a phone conversation with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko on Friday, touching on the potential for a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. According to Reuters, Putin and Lukashenko discussed Steve Witkoff's visit to Moscow and the ongoing peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. During their conversation, Putin expressed his willingness to meet with Trump, although the location has yet to be determined. He also updated the leaders of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan on discussions with Witkoff. The White House has confirmed that Trump is open to meeting both Putin and Zelenskyy, with plans for a personal meeting with Putin scheduled for next week, followed by a trilateral summit. The funeral of Ukrainian journalist Viktoria Roshchina, who died in Russian captivity last year, was held in Kyiv on Friday. TVP World attended the memorial and spoke to those who knew Roshchina and her family.
Hundreds of mourners and fellow journalists gathered at Kyiv St. Michael's Cathedral and Baikovе Cemetery to bid final farewell to Viktoria Roshchina, a journalist known for her fearless reporting in conflict zones in eastern and southern Ukraine.
She was a person who was searching for truth. That was number one. Number two, she was always interested in what's happening around. She was in a way you could say, call it nosy. But it was a positive nosiness. Because I think it's a very important quality for a journalist to be interested and asking questions in what you're doing and be interested in the lives of people around. This is how she was. It's a brilliant quality.
Roshchina was reported missing on August 3, 2023, while traveling to the Russian-occupied territories. In April 2024, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that she was being detained in Russia. On October 10th, it's been announced publicly that Roshchina died in Russian captivity. Yaroslav Yurchyshin, who supported Victoria's family throughout the ordeal, emphasized that an investigation into her abuse in captivity is underway.
We hope that these facts will be part of accusation in international tribunal, which now founded by Ukraine and a country which are members of Council of Europe, and it's crucial because we see a cruelty against journalists not only in Ukraine, in Gaza, now in Georgia, and we see that totalitarian governors, totalitarian regimes understand that on punishment give them possibility to commit crime against freedom of speech against journalists.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy posthumously awarded the journalist with the Order of Freedom. She was honored for her courage, patriotism, and selfless defense of the sovereignty and independence of Ukraine.
Several top European leaders announced on Friday that they can no longer support Israel's actions in Gaza. This comes after Israel's Security Cabinet approved Netanyahu's latest plan to fully occupy the Gaza Strip.
Keir Starmer in the UK, Friedrich Merz in Germany, and Ursula von der Leyen in Brussels all voiced on Friday their disapproval of Israel's latest military plans in Gaza. Starmer led the charge, insisting that Israel must reconsider its decision to further escalate in Gaza.
The Israeli government's decision to further expand its military operation in Gaza must be reconsidered. At the same time, it's crucial to secure the release of all hostages who are being held in inhumane conditions, and humanitarian aid transport must be given immediate and unhindered access to Gaza to deliver what is urgently needed on the ground. A ceasefire is needed now.
Germany has been a long-time supplier of arms to Israel, but Chancellor Merz released a statement on Friday saying German weapons deliveries to Israel were being cut off indefinitely. Merz said that Israel's current actions in Gaza do not seem focused on rescuing hostages or preventing civilian casualties.
Azerbaijan and Armenia will be signing a peace treaty on Friday, the White House has confirmed. The agreement to be signed, ending decades of conflict, was facilitated by the Trump administration.
Donald Trump announced that he would host the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan for a, quote, historic peace summit. The U.S. president implied that the deal could bring an end to the conflict between the two countries that lasted nearly 4 decades.
Many leaders have tried to end the war with no success until now, thanks to Trump. My administration has been engaged with both sides for quite some time.
The two nations have been in conflict twice over the contested Nagorno-Karabakh territory, which Azerbaijan recaptured from Armenia in a 2023 offensive, prompting over 100,000 ethnic Armenians to flee.
I left it for whoever will come to live in my house, no matter whether it's an enemy or not. They're a human being. No ordinary human wants war. We don't want to lose our home, but it was an order from the Azerbaijani government.
Azerbaijan and Armenia have held peace talks in the past, including last month in the United Arab Emirates, but no breakthrough has been reached. The peace deal could facilitate the reopening of essential transportation corridors in the South Caucasus that have been closed since the 1990s. Officials speaking to the Associated Press suggested that the agreement would give the U.S. leasing rights to develop the corridor, which would be named Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity.
Turkey says it will not support the European Union's new plan to stop buying gas from Russia. The EU aims to fully cut off Russian gas imports by the end of 2027, but Turkey, a key transit country, says it won't take part. Turkey's government says it only follows sanctions approved by the United Nations, not those made by the European Union alone. Experts warn that this could create a loophole, allowing Russian gas to continue flowing into Europe through Turkey, even after the ban takes effect. Tracking the origin of gas is difficult. It often changes hand and mixes with other supplies, making it hard to tell where it came from. Some gas already enters the EU through Turkey via Bulgaria and Greece. While the volume is small compared to past Russian exports, it still makes up a significant share of what the EU gets from Russia today. Experts say that the EU may need to offer Turkey incentives like restarting talks about EU membership or funding green energy projects to gain its cooperation. The migration crisis at the Poland-Belarus border is escalating with increasingly frequent attacks on Polish border guard officers. Migrants have even been seen using a portable toilet as a battering ram to break fences.
The frequency and severity of illegal entry attempts have been on the rise, with migrants throwing projectiles, including Molotov cocktails, at border guards and troops. In July, Polish soldiers fired rubber bullets at migrants trying to force entry, resulting in one Sudanese man being hospitalized. Poland has been tackling the migration crisis at its border with Belarus since 2021. Warsaw accuses Minsk of orchestrating the situation as part of a hybrid war tactic intended to destabilize both Poland and the EU.
And that concludes this edition of World News, but do stay tuned because the bottom line with Marie Cato is coming up next.